The ancient legacy pillars of the world in urbanization and architecture highlight the remarkable achievements in city planning, architectural design, and construction techniques that shaped the development of early civilizations. These innovations not only reflect the technological and cultural advancements of ancient societies, but also laid the foundations for modern urban planning and architecture. Below are the key pillars of this ancient legacy. 1. Mesopotamian urbanization and architecture. Sumerian cities, circa 3500–2000 BCE. The Sumerians established some of the first cities in human history, such as Ur, Eridu, and Uruk, featuring intricate urban layouts. Their cities had monumental ziggurats, stepped pyramids, as central religious structures, exemplifying their advanced knowledge of geometry and engineering. They also developed the cuneiform system of writing, used for administrative tasks and city governance. Drainage and sanitation systems were among the earliest examples of urban infrastructure, demonstrating an understanding of public health and city planning. Babylonian architecture, circa 1894 to 539 BCE. The Ishtar Gate and the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are among the most famous architectural feats of the Babylonians. The gardens were one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Babylon's urban planning included wide streets, fortifications, and palaces, displaying sophisticated city design. Assyrian and Neo-Assyrian urbanism, circa 900 to 612 BCE. The Assyrians created massive cities such as Nineveh and Assur, known for their grand palaces, impressive city walls, and fortified gates. Relief sculptures and large-scale wall murals in the royal palaces depicted the might of the empire, with detailed city layouts emphasizing defense and the centralization of power. 2. Egyptian urbanization and architecture. City planning of ancient Egypt, circa 3000 BCE to 30 BCE, Egyptian cities, like Thebes, Memphis, and Alexandria, were highly structured, with monumental temples, palaces, and tombs built for pharaohs and gods. The pyramid complexes, such as the Great Pyramids of Giza, stand as lasting symbols of Egyptian architectural and engineering skills. These structures required complex planning, labor, and an understanding of geometry. The ancient Egyptians also designed urban layouts with religious and political centers as focal points, creating well-organized urban environments. Temples and monuments. The Egyptians developed colossal stone structures such as the Great Sphinx, Karnak Temple, and Abu Simbel that influenced architectural styles for centuries. 3. Indus Valley urbanization and architecture. Indus Valley civilization, circa 2600–1900 BCE. The cities of the Indus Valley, such as Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, are among the earliest examples of urban planning in the ancient world. These cities featured well-laid-out grid systems, with streets running in straight lines and intersecting at right angles, showcasing advanced planning and design. The drainage and sewage systems in Harappa were remarkably sophisticated, with homes connected to a citywide sanitation network. Public baths and granaries indicate the city's focus on hygiene, public works, and food storage, underlining the importance of infrastructure in urban life. 4. Greek and Hellenistic urbanization and architecture. Greek architecture and urban planning, circa 800 BCE to 146 BCE. The Greeks developed the concept of the city-state, polis, with cities like Athens and Sparta reflecting distinct urban designs. Greek cities featured open agoras, marketplaces, large temples, such as the Parthenon on the Acropolis, and stadiums for athletic competitions. Greek architecture introduced the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian orders, influencing later styles of architecture. Hellenistic urban planning, circa 323 BCE to 31 BCE, after Alexander the Great's conquests. The Hellenistic world saw the rise of planned cities like Alexandria in Egypt, which incorporated large libraries, public spaces, and grid-like streets. Ptolemaic Egypt introduced monumental structures like the Pharos of Alexandria, a lighthouse, and great theaters. 5. Roman urbanization and architecture. Roman cities and infrastructure, circa 500 BCE to 476 CE. The Romans perfected urban planning with cities such as Rome, Pompeii, and Ostia. They emphasized public spaces like the Forum, for political and social gatherings, bathhouses, amphitheaters, e.g., the Colosseum, and large aqueducts for water supply. The Roman innovations in roads and bridges connected their empire, while their use of concrete and the arch revolutionized architectural design. Domed buildings, such as the Pantheon, demonstrate the Romans' engineering mastery, creating large open spaces covered by massive concrete domes. Roman cities also incorporated advanced sanitation systems, with public latrines and baths, and the use of underground sewer systems like the Cloaca Maxima in Rome. 6. Chinese urbanization and architecture. Ancient Chinese cities, circa 2100 BCE to 21 BCE, early Chinese cities, such as those from the Shang and Zhou dynasties, were characterized by planned layouts, large city walls, and royal palaces. Xi'an, the capital of the Han dynasty, was a major cultural and political center with a grid-based street system and urban gates designed for defense and transportation. Chinese architecture emphasized harmony with nature, with principles of feng shui guiding the placement of buildings and structures within the urban environment. Imperial Chinese architecture. The Forbidden City in Beijing, a sprawling imperial palace complex, represents the zenith of ancient Chinese urban architecture, characterized by its grand halls, vast courtyards, and symmetrical layout. The Great Wall of China, while primarily a military structure, also reflects the concept of defensive urbanism on a monumental scale. 7. Mesoamerican urbanization and architecture. Mayan cities, circa 2000 BCE to 1500 CE. Tikal, Chichen Itza, and other Mayan cities featured large pyramids, palaces, and plazas. The Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan in central Mexico is one of the most iconic structures. Mayan urban planning included highly organized cities with large central plazas for social and religious gatherings, and the use of elevated roads, called Sac-Biob, to connect urban centers. Mayans also made significant advancements in the use of corbelled arch construction in their buildings. Aztec architecture, circa 14th–16th centuries CE. The Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, was built on a series of islands in Lake Texcoco, with impressive causeways, canals, and chinampas, floating gardens. The Great Temple of Tenochtitlan, Templo Mayor, was a monumental pyramid, reflecting the grandeur and religious significance of Aztec architecture. 8. Inca urbanization and architecture. Inca cities, circa 1400 to 1533 CE. The Inca Empire is renowned for its highly organized cities, such as Cusco, the capital, and Machu Picchu, an iconic mountain city. Incan urban planning was centered on the concept of terraces and farming communities, adapting the harsh Andean terrain for agricultural use. The Inca stonework is legendary, with precisely cut stones that required no mortar, a technique seen in structures like Sacsayhuaman and the Temple of the Sun in Cusco. Incan cities were designed with careful attention to astronomical alignments, religion, and functionality, creating harmonious urban landscapes. 9. African urbanization and architecture. Ancient Egyptian architecture. As noted, Egypt's monumental architectural achievements, such as the pyramids and temples, influenced other African cultures. Great Zimbabwe, circa 1100 to 1450 CE. The ruins of Great Zimbabwe reflect advanced stone masonry and urban planning. The Great Enclosure and Hill Complex are significant examples of indigenous African architecture, demonstrating the ability to construct large, fortified cities without mortar. West African cities, circa 1000 to 1600 CE, cities like Djenné and Timbuktu in the Mali Empire were famous for their architecture, especially the use of mud brick and adobe to create large mosques and urban dwellings, blending practical construction with aesthetic value. The ancient legacy pillars of urbanization and architecture reveal the incredible ingenuity of ancient civilizations in designing cities and creating monumental structures that continue to influence modern urban planning and architecture. From the careful alignment of streets and buildings to the integration of religious and civic structures, these ancient cities were reflections of their society's values, technologies, and aspirations.